Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Come and See activity for Key Stage 1. Now we're going to go back to reception's topic, which is celebration. Now, there's lots of different ways that we celebrate during our church's year, and we have really special days when we celebrate people in particular. So these are what we call feast days. Now on feast days, we usually celebrate some either special event in the church's year, such as Easter or Christmas, or sometimes we celebrate a certain person. So usually those people are our saints. So we have people like Saint Anne and Saint Peter and Saint Matthew and Saint John, and all these people have a day in the year where we celebrate their day. That is their feast day. Now, right now we are in ordinary time, right? So our liturgical colour is green, and everything is great because we're kind of building that kingdom, just like we heard a little bit last week. Now, during ordinary time, most days have a feast, but Saturdays are a very special day because every Saturday is set apart. We don't put a feast day there for any old saint or any old special occasion. No. In ordinary time, Saturdays are reserved for the Virgin Mary. Now, Mary was obviously really, really special and a big person to celebrate in our church, because if it wasn't for her, we may not have got Jesus, or we may not have got him in the same way. See, Mary made a really big choice one day when she said yes to God, that she would be the mother of Jesus. So taking on that job was such a big deal, and she still prays with us and for us constantly, even from heaven. So Mary is a big deal, and we need to make sure that we're celebrating Mary, and she deserves plenty of celebration. Now, what we're going to do this week is we're going to celebrate in a bit of an arty way. Now, some people, when they pray, they like to put their hands together and say the words. Some people like to pray in silence. Some people like to pray when they sing. But there are some people who they pray through art. They pray with drawing and with paintbrushes. And when a picture is made, specifically in a kind of prayerful atmosphere, we give it a special name. Now, a piece of artwork made in prayer for a certain saint or a certain special person, we call an icon. Now, an icon looks something like this. So this is an icon of Mary. So that's Mary there. She's holding the baby Jesus here. And this is what an icon looks like. It's basically just like a portrait, isn't it? It's kind of like just getting a normal painting of someone and putting it onto, usually it's a bit of wood. Alright, so it's on there solid. Someone's painted that and then varnished it on. Now, icons come in lots of different shapes and sizes. Some of them are a lot more colourful than this. This one is a little bit more on the brown side, and a little bit more on the, kind of, it's not as colourful as some could be. I've got another one here that's a slightly brighter, and this one is, of course, Jesus. As you can see, this one's a bit brighter. It's got a few more greens, a few less browns, but you get some icons that are full of colour, full of reds and blues and yellows and golds, and they look amazing. Now, our task this week is we're going to help celebrate Mary a bit. One way that we celebrate our saints and our special people in church, especially Mary and Jesus and all of the other saints, is we create artwork to remind us of them. So we think of all those statues we see in our churches to remind us of the amazing things the saints have done and Jesus has done and Mary has done. Think of the paintings you probably see all over the place. And equally, one way of celebrating our saints, and Mary especially, is to paint them and to paint an icon for them. So what we're going to do this week is we're going to paint an icon. Now, you're going to get a template that looks a bit like this. Okay, so as you can see, that's Mary looking lovely, holding on to Jesus. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to draw, colour, paint, whatever you want to do. You can use you can use glue and a bit of cool like sticky stuff. Like, I want you to create a beautiful icon. I want you to fill this in, because right now it looks boring, alright? It's just a load of black lines. It's an outline of Mary and Jesus. I think you guys could do a lot better. So I want you to take these, and I want you to create for me an icon. You can see dotted around the stars and things like that. And I want you to put colour in literally all of it. Okay, don't just leave it in Mary. Like, what's the background going to look like? Like, as you can see here, the background is just a little bit yellow. It's a bit, dull and boring. But on this one, look, we've got kind of rays of gold. We've got a couple of angels. We've got some writing here. Maybe you could put some writing of your own. Maybe mark it with Mary's initials, which is obviously just an M, and with your own initials. So AB, CF, TD, whatever it may be. And I'd like you to fill this with colour. And I'd like you to create for us some artworks, a way for us to pray and celebrate Mary. Because in ordinary times it's important that we remind ourselves of how important these people were, the people who helped to make our Christian faith the way it is today. Because it's by following their example that we can be the best that we can be. So, your challenge today, take that template, fill it with colour, and let's make a few Marian icons together. Ready? Steady? Go!